So welcome to Identity at the Center Live. I'm Jeff, and that's Jim. Hey, Jim.
Hey Jeff, how are you?
Oh, not so bad. Yourself? We should probably talk about what this is. So, yeah, welcome to our live stream. This is a weekly, well, we're hoping for a weekly, I guess I should say, live conversation. Something that's a little less scripted, more freewheeling, trains of thought, right? Just a looser vibe in general, as you can obviously see with all these fancy backgrounds and streaming things that our
Let's be
podcast.
honest, that's the reason we're doing it, right? We got all these fancy backgrounds now, and we want everybody to see them.
The other thing too is I think it just gives us an opportunity to kind of stay current, right, with events in identity, especially from our viewpoints and kind of our own experiences, right, as identity consultants and kind of what we do in our quote unquote real jobs.
I think we look for feedback from people. So if you're interested in tuning in, what is it that's going to make it interesting? I think one thing is the ability to post questions, comments as we go. And I think another thing is, keeping it focused on kind of the current events. So it actually is different than the podcast. So the podcast, we've always had guests come in. We talk to the guest about their area of expertise or something they've been working on, and then we publish the show, like you said, a week after we record it. This would be something where we'd say, here are current events, here are some things that showed up in the news, and we kind of digest them in kind of a short format.
There was a link that you wanted to bring up. Should we talk about that?
Yeah. So it's the Gartner Identity Governance and Administration Market Guide. I mean, it's a bit old, right? It's a year old, but it just was something that I was reviewing through again this week, and I was like, you know what? This is always a timely topic. If you scroll down a little bit, there's that recommendation section. The second bullet there is around, going to targeting a SaaS or cloud-based deployment. And I think this is, probably obvious, but I mean, sometimes I think we lose perspective in that we're consulting. We think about identity and access management every day, and we just think everybody knows what we know, right? Or everybody has the same exposure and has seen this come up like 50 times, and that might not be the case. So I'd say with a lot of the clients that I'm working with, I'd say the majority are moving towards a cloud-first model. I think from what I see with our vendors is they're pushing their customers towards, the vendors are pushing their customers or their prospective customers towards their cloud offering, even if they have an on-prem offering.
Well, I think too is, every company says they want to go cloud. And it's like the person say, oh yeah, we definitely looking for a cloud solution. And then the business processes that they have currently just, they're not great and lend themselves, to a standardized approach. Because when we're talking about true cloud, and I mean, SaaS solution, you don't go off and buy let's say a Concur, for example, and say, oh, I'm going to build my own business process. Sure, there's some things you configure, but the way Concur works is the way Concur works. You need to adapt your business processes to it. So it's the same way for identity governance in a SaaS solution. Yes, some are managed and hosted, et cetera. And I think sometimes this is where there's a little bit of loose talk with from the sales and marketing side of things. Say, oh yeah, we have all these features, and it's not feature parity maybe with the on-prem solution, for example. But if the business is willing to adjust their business process to match the solution, ultimately you're going to be in a much better position anyway. Strategically, less customization of product, which is great for for IT and the IAM teams that are operating or managing these types of solutions. So I just feel like sometimes vendors are pushing the SaaS or cloud versions of products when it's really not the right fit for where the organization is right now.
So I think we did pretty good for our first live stream. What do you think, Jeff?
And on behalf of Frozen Jim on the screen,
but I'm here.
You are there. Ventriloquist Jim. We'll go ahead and wrap up there. So thanks everyone for watching.